Imagine this. Every day you meet people, colleagues, friends, even strangers, and the very first words that come out of your mouth are the same predictable script. Hi, how are you? They reply with the same dull answer. I'm fine. How are you? It's automatic, robotic, empty. Nothing changes. Nothing meaningful happens. Now pause and think. If Marcus Aurelius or Seneca were alive today, do you really think they'd waste their breath on such empty words? The Stoics believed in intention behind speech. Words are tools of influence. Every phrase you use should either elevate you, strengthen your bond, or bring clarity. Yet most of us fall into the trap of polite autopilot small talk. That's why in this video we're going to replace that dull habit with something far more powerful. 6 phrases that change conversations, spark curiosity, and actually align with Stoic wisdom. This is not about being fake, it's about being intentional. Stoicism teaches us that speech is not meant for noise, but for truth. So instead of "Hi, how are you?" let's uncover alternatives that will make you memorable, respected, and magnetic. Stick with me till the end, because once you learn these phrases, you'll never go back to empty greetings again. And trust me, the effect on your social presence will be undeniable. The phrase, "Hi, how are you?" seems harmless, but it's lazy. It's what we say when we don't want to think. It's the verbal equivalent of background noise. And here's the real problem. When you use words without thought, you teach your own mind to live without awareness. Stoicism is about conscious living, being mindful in every action, and not wasting energy on things outside your control. If your greeting is just a reflex, you're wasting an opportunity to connect with another human being. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the value of a man is measured by the value of what he pursues. If you pursue shallow words, you'll live shallow connections. But if you pursue depth, even your first phrase can create impact. When you stop using empty phrases, you stand out. People remember the way you made them feel. They see you as different. And in today's world, different is power. The moment you choose intentional greetings over autopilot, you shift from ordinary to unforgettable. Now, instead of "Hi, how are you?" imagine saying something that acknowledges presence, something rooted in awareness. A phrase that doesn't just fill silence, but opens a window for real exchange. When you greet someone with intention, you show them that you actually see them. Not just the surface, but the person. Stoicism values perception, the ability to notice what most ignore. So your first replacement should embody presence. Instead of asking how they are, you can remark on something you observe, like their energy, their expression, or the environment you both share. This immediately separates you from the crowd because you're not operating on autopilot. You're living in the moment. When Epictetus taught, he reminded his students that life is not about controlling what happens, but about how you respond. Your words are your response, and your greeting can either be lifeless routine or a spark that shifts the air. The Stoics remind us, speak with reason, not with noise. That's why this first phrase you'll adopt changes the entire dynamic of conversation. It begins with awareness instead of habit. Here's the deeper reason this matters. Most people walk around wearing invisible armor. They're tired, distracted, stressed, or simply stuck in their own head. A generic "How are you?" never pierces that armor. But a phrase rooted in presence, curiosity, or affirmation goes deeper. It forces them to pause, reflect, and feel seen. And when someone feels seen, they lower their guard. That's when true connection begins. Seneca once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we may listen more and talk less." But listening starts with asking the right opening line. If your first words invite truth instead of routine, people will reveal more, and every conversation becomes more real. Think of this like a practice. Every time you greet someone, You're practicing the Stoic art of meaningful interaction. Your mind stays sharp, your words stay intentional, and your connections become alive. Another hidden power of replacing, "Hi, how are you?" is respect. When you use thoughtless words, you show that you don't care enough to create something different. But when you greet someone with a phrase that reflects awareness, you show respect for their time, their presence, and their humanity. Respect, as the Stoics taught, is not demanded, but demonstrated. And respect always returns with interest. Think of the last person who said something genuine to you instead of the usual script. Didn't it leave a mark? Didn't it make you remember them more vividly? That's exactly how others will remember you. Stoic philosophy is about excellence, living in such a way that your smallest
actions reflect your highest principles. Even your greeting, as small as it seems, can embody that excellence. So when you decide to stop saying, "Hi, how are you?" and replace it with these 6 Stoic-inspired phrases, you're elevating yourself from the ordinary to the intentional. So here's the truth. The world doesn't need more empty greetings. The world needs people who live with awareness. Every word you speak is a reflection of your philosophy. The Stoics understood that a man's character is revealed in his daily habits. And what's more daily than the way we greet others? Replace small talk with intentional talk, and watch how your presence grows magnetic. These 6 phrases aren't just substitutes for, "Hi, how are you?" They are tools. Tools to create connection, to live with awareness, and to embody Stoic wisdom in the most practical way. Now, before you click away, remember this. If you want to master Stoicism in daily life, it starts with small shifts. And greetings are the perfect training ground, so stop wasting words. Start creating impact. And if you found value here, make sure you stay connected with this channel. Because here, we don't just talk philosophy, we live it. Subscribe now, because the next lesson might just change the way you see the world forever.